Oh, you see, now.
But just, like, me being on the board.
You don't.
You're not getting.
Don't take a look at the car. Not impressed. Not impressed. It's just that she's walking in. Yeah, that's what I told you. I said, you're gonna be just fine. Yeah.
We are live with volume, guys.
You don't have to buy everything. I got one, but it's got a fire truck on it, so it's cheap. It's cheap. Go back. Sorry. Man. We'll share it.
Next is Matt.
Who?
Next is Matt.
Was there?
See you later.
Yeah, we might.
Better state the picture.
Oh, yeah. I took chicken last week and I caught the park on fire. That place. The second time I've done that.
Would you get the black? So. Walmart doing it, it's good, sweet. My check, I won't want to. Well, you need to mark too. You need to get.
Best thing you'll ever get.
That's
I promise.
I saw a lot.
It's a little, you know, wants to use.
Really.
Yeah. You be there.
I have a gas grill, pellet smoker, and a black stuff. I have certain things I cook in each one.
Right.
But 90% of everything is, you know, black stuff.
Are you you going to the big birthday party in 2 weeks? For Easter? Oh, yeah. They tell me shit like. Yeah, yeah, it's at guys. Yeah, well, I'm sure probably. Yeah. 9 to 11. Well, they got the
Blow jump.
blow jump. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, let's open the meeting at 7:03. We have a quorum. Is there any additions to the agenda? All right, do we make a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Make the motion, sorry.
All right, all in favor? Is there any public comment? Don't see anything listed. Moving on to the approval of the January 11th, the regular board meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
All in favor? Approval of the minutes of the January 30th, that was a special board meeting. Do we have a motion? All right. Financial report.
So as of January the 30th. Reserve $623,106.32. The building fund $115,825.45 for access fund made $368,911.38. Current liability is the payroll liability $4,354.52. Income expense for this period $755,212.85 for income. Expenses of $119,237.9.
All right, how much of that truck comes out of? Oh. What is it? But we'll add $120,000 grant that we're getting. To that, so it'll be 200.
If you mind, have a motion to accept the financial report as read.
Somebody.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, approval of the financial ordinance.
Motion. Approve that ordinance.
All in favor? Okay. Communication, Jefferson County Court Order.
Everything came through. We're golden and fixed and ready to do with that.
Notice from the state auditor's office.
Our audit was successfully accepted by Nicole Galloway's office, the auditor's office. That was done.
Hey, and that's notice from the Department of Revenue.
So there's been a lot of talk. I just wanted to put this on your board pack. Medical marijuana and that additional 3% tax that everybody's talking about. If you read that letter, we aren't talking about that. Cities and counties. They leave us on it.
Can't double tax. In the city.
Correct. You are correct, yes. Yep, so we're kind of just,
So will please be able to get it?
and he is, I believe, is talking about, they're going to put it on the ballot. It's not going to be this election, but well, we're getting sales tax off of it.
Correct.
But there's an additional sales tax.
Just because it's marijuana.
Just because it's marijuana. We're not eligible for that additional sales tax, but the city could put it on the ballot at some point to impose an additional 3% sales tax on the sale of marijuana.
That's still going to their capital fund.
Still insurance, yes.
We'll generate some, yeah. I'm just busy right after this.
Right here is open. Okay, finance report.
Yes, for the month of January 2023, there was one building permit issued, and that was for electrical permit down at one of TV Valley's units down in the basement at below Taco, whatever, tequila.
Okay.
So fees charged were $100, fees collected were $100. Civil permit was office for $100 in January. I am going to be very cool too. Hands, points for a rise. So it looks like, again, I believe when there's a shovel on the ground. And that's just. So the big lot. Not the corner, not the corner lot. Further south, the next big 5 acre.
It's the turn in,
Right past the turn, there's right there.
up at 21.
Between, they wanted that to. It'd be nice. Just to-
One of those things, but 21.
After the look, I didn't get through the plans very good as to which way.
Yes. Interesting. Good. Make it.
Something, yeah, something that'll generate,
Finance report.
January 2023, slowest month in a long time. 50 calls for service. 90 calls this past week. Very busy. Again, last week featured multiple first alarm responses within the district. That has not stopped and continued. Crews have all done a great job handling all of them. We had a pretty, not a large fire, but a building fire that probably is going to result in $75,000 to $100,000 loss out off of River Trail Friday afternoon. So it was an out of building shop type old barn. But it was a nice facility, and it's a shame what it is. So no employees have COVID at this time, which is a good one. The bound copy of the audit was included in your packet. We already approved that at the last meeting. It's just put in your archives. Currently working on multiple grants at this time. The AFG grant. We're working towards apparatus exhaust removal system for the building. That you look at our walls upstairs and throughout this facility, they're black. That crap is all seeping into the building every time we start a truck up. So I think for the health and safety of the guys and the air quality in here, it's probably pretty important. to Get that done, with this grant funding. So, we're moving forward with that. Jefferson, Regional, or Jefferson Memorial Grant, excuse me. We are going for the remodel here. And it's up to get that funded. So that'll be huge. Home Depot, we're on for grant to remodel upstairs. So we are very close to, I think, getting that one locked in. So that'll be about $40,000 to get upstairs. We redone the kitchen, the bathrooms and things like that, which are in desperate, dire need of. So, positive talk on the grant. Front. And obviously, you guys have kind of seen the remodel has begun. We finished moving 6513 over to its new home over there. I think like it being over there. All the big trucks are there. There's really no. Before they had to run over from one bay to get their gear, the other bay to get the trucks. So I think it helped them with that as well too. We're finishing up the tool room over there. Hopefully within the next week or so, we'll be very close to getting that done. The final coat of mud or the second to last coat of mud, depending on how it turns out today. So we'll see tomorrow if everything turns out good, then we'll be priming that and getting that thing ready to rock and roll. So the next step after that is we'll move over to the other bay. We're going to add a gear room on the back side of that bay and then close the mezzanine up above the front entrance there for weapons storage. So that'll really, really help everybody out. And a huge thanks to everybody that's helped out. Everybody's done great. All the staff, so it's been good. And then you add all the fires here related, so it's pretty busy around here. Again, we're continue to hopefully have the year-end report done sometime the first quarter of this year. We have begun the process with Lexipool on our policy rewrite, so we are rewriting every policy within the district. That is expecting to take somewhere between 6 months and 1 year, and that was part of last year's year-end purchases. So we are moving forward with that. The radiator on 6514 has been repaired and is complete. It was somewhere in the neighborhood of $8,500 to get that fixed and repaired. $6,100 for the radiator and like $2,500 for the Yep. 6,400. Flipping radiator. Yep. PMs are ongoing. They started today on the big trucks, and they will continue tomorrow. Unfortunately, I've heard through the grapevine they are finding multiple problems that we'll have to address and get fixed. So unfortunately, the cost of doing business. And no update. Preventative maintenance. So McQueen comes in and basically does a full top to bottom change of most all the fluids and basically a DOT inspection on all the trucks to make sure everything's working. I truly believe in having somebody that actually knows what they're looking at it. And it's paid dividends to have those guys taking care of our trucks. Dan still does a wonderful job taking care of the smaller trucks and keeping up on the oil changes and all that, but for bigger trucks and things like that, I mean, there's pump differential fluid that they need to get changed. All this other stuff that maybe Dean doesn't know about it.
So we can do roll here with a truck.
Oh, yeah. Even if I did, I couldn't store the fluids.
But
Yeah.
So lots of
What's that? That's all good.
lots of training going on throughout the district. Several members attended ice rescue training over the past month, and all of them did well past the class. We did a live brush fire training at the city park on Saturday. We were helping Ryan Hirchin, who you guys know, his grandpa or dad Bill, and then his grandpa's one of the founding members of Hillsville Fire District. Put in a pretty neat trail with some grant funding through all that. So we're kind of helped them out, burned up some piles, and we burned about probably 1.5 acres, 2 acres of wood area to help rejuvenate that area. So it'll be good for them.
Burned off some of that undergrowth.
We tried. It was really.
Yeah.
It's not that it was that wet. It's just The wind was so swirly. Second, you get a good run of fire going, the wind would change directions and then push it back on itself and it'd go out. We couldn't hardly keep the fire going.
That's in the back of the park. You like that?
Down below,
That old trail used to be.
they've widened that trail now. It's gonna be like handicap accessible. It's pretty cool what they're doing down there. So they're doing good stuff. He's putting in some sort of a labyrinth.
Is it like that's what the Stonehenge thing is called? A labyrinth?
Exactly know the full scope of the plan. He was very grateful for our help and got training. Too, so. CPR is continuing for our citizens along with other classes as requested. Tax increase update. We did department wide meeting Monday night. That's the marketing plan to get things rolling. Same message out to all the staff to public. We met on the 26th with the board from Lake Wahweapon. They were very, very receptive to us. In fact, so receptive that they invited us back to do a community open house on March 1st. So we're working with them. I met with the Lions Club last Wednesday. That was, as far as I can tell, well received by them as well too. They asked lots of good questions, interactive stuff. So that went really, really well. Like I said, Jason is tonight meeting with the Jefferson County Pachyderm Club up at I forgot where they're at, Detours Barn Grill or somewhere up in Imperial, meeting with them. I'm meeting tomorrow with the 2665 to kind of see what tools they have to help us out on the marketing side as well. We got multiple other events scheduled for the future. We're going to obviously chamber and make contact with Braintree as well too. We're going to meet them again. Yeah, I don't have a date set for that yet. And I'm doing a spot on the radio show. So,
And the article come out in the Leader tomorrow. I've already seen.
how was it?
It looked good.
No ridiculous headline.
No, not that I thought. It was just basically it says in order to keep firefighters this and second. And so it looked good.
Yes. We got some very good support from the news meeting yesterday after the fire. So that I did a live, not a live, but a recorded interview that they aired at 6 o'clock at Channel 5 last night, and Channel 2 aired one at 11 o'clock last night. So
That building had an automatic alarm in it.
Oh.
Somebody saw it.
well, they were burning. That's how the fire started. And I tell you what, I watched the video today. Mayor stopped by. He had video of that thing fighting off, our truck pulling off. It was from the other side of the building, so you couldn't actually see the fire. We were seconds away from this. And I stand by that decision. As soon as that truck rounded the corner, it took off up in that soffit area. And you could see the smoke conditions just change to dead black and start billowing out of there. So we got so lucky. That would have been devastating. Well, the outer pane did break. So yes, you are correct.
Really bad your business up there.
I know. Did not shut them down for anything.
Oh, good.
Very good.
No shop steward report.
No, Mitch was gonna log in. He's beat. He's from a whole bunch of calls.
Okay.
As far as Mitch has told me, there's nothing exciting going on. Communication's great. Everything's things moving forward. So
So no old business, so let's move on to the new business about the traffic.
the traffic light. What a mess. It's broke. This one? Yes. It's been on and off. Probably 7 or 8 months ago. And Modak. They fixed it. He worked for maybe 2 days. Kind of got placed on the back burner for a while. That's my fault. But after the first of the year, I called out Reinhold Luck. They tore into everything, tested everything, the entire boxes. There's some sort of an MVCR Parkin-Nugent control module in there that they don't make anymore. So the whole thing has to be upgraded. Well, we don't know whose responsibility it is. So I called Chief Scott, talked with him about it, and he said at some point in the early 2000s, it was turned over to the city of Hillsborough, and it's the city of Hillsborough's responsibility.
That's true. The road was, so no, I wouldn't do right.
Well, I've got an ordinance in there from 1997 that was signed by Frank Rowland. That basically
Put it in.
it was after it was put in.
Okay.
And I do have all the
I
documentation.
remember putting it in.
Yeah. It states it was the commission's job to maintain, which is MoDOT. MoDOT says it's not their problem.
Well, in 97, it was.
Right. But they're saying now it's not, the city's saying it's not. So I have further research to do to figure out what's on first and what's on second. This,
I have a feeling we're gonna pay.
I have a feeling we're gonna have to pay for it as well too.
What's it been?
$19,364. That's a, now, I'll give you a little bit of good news. City of Hillsborough today submitted a grant through TrailNet to get a crosswalk over here at Liam Hall and 21 and some sort of a trail back to the school. And Jason Daniel at the city submitted the grant, and I talked to him to throw the stoplight on. So it is on a grant now, potentially, because kind of their thought was, well, if that trail runs along Business 21, it's not gonna be a true sidewalk, it's gonna be a gravel trail. But they'll fund it, because use it and walk on it and all that. They threw our stoplight on there too to try to see if we can get that fixed. But I got Steve O'Connor over at MoDOT. I know Steve pretty well, quick off, pretty good guy. He's doing some further research on whose responsibility it is. He doesn't have it. He didn't even know really who to call to find out who's.
Who takes care of the intersection lights like at Main and? Is that the city?
MoDOT. No. That's a great question.
wonder if
We
the
go
city-
into one and vote. But
They turned over the middle part to the city.
so
The Main Street lights.
And responsible of the city. You would think.
I don't know.
I don't know. Remember that Charlie Raymond had told me that when that happens, it will be the city's responsibility because it is attached to city property and city roadway. And therefore, and he said, then we'll have to take over the maintenance of that.
Well,
And they was talking about intersection of Main.
I'm gonna let this play out and see what Steven kind of finds out. Okay. If that doesn't work, I will start going through board minutes, the early 2000s, see if I can locate it. Which it's gonna be a tough.
Got nobody thought it. When I refer to the city, I bet nobody thought it.
But still, there's only the agreement. with it. So the city's agreement, yeah, and the city agreement that they put forward.
I know.
You get copies of that.
That's and I know back in the day too, a couple of days, if there was something wrong with something, you call Charlie Bennett. So Dave's right somewhere at some point. City took that over. I just gotta find where in. I'm not saying that. I feel it's 100% on the city, $19,000 freaking dollars either. That's crazy.
Who's beyond your life more?
To ask her.
Who have you?
Ain't gonna be us.
Just like that.
And here's the thing though. The cycle, other lights here in town. So when you activate that, it kicks that one in that, depending on which way you're going, so. My opinion is. Well, I just gotta find out when and where that went down. And if any of you gentlemen. Yeah, going back 20+ years, remember. Somewhere at some point, there had to be an agreement signed and we had to be notified that, hey, don't call MoDOT for this traffic light, call the city.
Well. Hope that. You see how that will fall.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Well, especially if nothing's been. Well, it's all new administration. Right there. Maybe if I pick Beth's brain, she might. Remember something, but.
I think your key is that.
I'll keep digging and keep getting.
That's a shame because that helps. Okay,
Sometimes.
Go ahead.
It does help if people are paying attention, but. You still have to come to a complete stop there and make sure that people are, it's not their fault. They're so used to it flashing yellow all the time, and then boom, just like that, it's suddenly red.
Man, you can hear that trucks flying off though.
Oh, I know.
You know,
I know.
yeah, it really needs days. Okay.
Employee resignation.
Yeah, in your board packet is a letter of resignation from one of our full-time employees. He does want to stay here part-time. That. Sure, it's all bad. So. In down the. As we agreed upon the last hiring, Julie Arnold was second in line to get hired, so I went ahead and offered the job as start. So
That then we're off.
the 23rd. It's going to be.
And he's still for maintaining the solar real quick.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
The lieutenant promotion.
Yeah, we've been short a lieutenant on Asia for quite some time. Interview process. Testing process. It won't, the cost will. But, with the busiest.
You have anything else? There was no closed session. Any other discussion? Take a motion to adjourn. And everyone second. But you can't.
Regular invoices here. So this is one that. Got that. Nursing.